Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Power of the Tribe. I'm Maureen Ryan Blake. Today, our guest is Jackie Lewis. Jackie Lewis is a certified financial planner with advice, period. Jackie has over 30 years working in the trenches of Wall Street and corporate finance, where there's just not that many women. She's going to talk about how the women that she bonded with to not only survive, but thrive. I am thrilled to have Jackie Lewis. Please welcome Jackie. So, Jackie, tell me a little bit about your background from corporate finance and Wall Street to what led you to the entrepreneurial world.
I'd be delighted to. Hello, Maureen. It's happy to be here and delighted to be part of the tribe. So thank you again for involving me. And I have to say, my background is primarily corporate. I took a position in a bank training program right out of college, back when they used to have those. And, for a year and a half, they trained me on all aspects of banking. And so when I came out as a commercial lender and worked for a number of large banking institutions for, 25 plus years, a variety of different banks. Started in San Diego, California, and then got out to New York and went into corporate banking with some of the larger banks. Actually, my first role was with Sumitomo Bank in their corporate finance division up on the 95th floor of the World Trade Center. So that was quite an introduction. And then continued on to Chemical, which was acquired by Chase, which was then acquired by JP Morgan. So spent almost 10 years with them in New York, and then headed back to San Diego. And actually for the last 15 years have been with Wells Fargo's private bank as a wealth advisor. So again, that's a lot of time in the corporate world. And so most recently, about 6 months ago, is when I made the big transition from working in the corporate world, having a full platform of people and expertise and resources around me, over to the entrepreneurial world. And I haven't looked back. I'm so happy I did it. It was terrifying and it was exciting, and it was quite a leap of faith. So I came over to a more of a smaller firm. It basically does financial planning and investment management. I brought a partner with me from Wells Fargo, and so the two of us are, starting our own office down here in San Diego, trying to build the business, and having success. So. Again, the transition has been very different, but honestly, at the end of the day, I'm so happy I made the leap.
Welcome, fellow entrepreneur. So with having an extensive corporate background and working in that environment, and now working as you're in your own as an entrepreneur, mm-hmm. How has how would you characterize, or do you think that there was a change in working with women in corporate finance till now as an entrepreneur? Has that role changed? Can you tell me a little bit of mm-hmm. what that looks like?
Well, I have to say, women in the finance arena are still much lower than they should be. It's very male dominated. And so you tend to, when you find other women, get to know them well, because it's always nice to have the advocacy of another female in such a large male dominated field. On the corporate side, it's certainly gotten better. When I first went in, even in the training program, I was the only woman in a field of 8. And, moving forward, it is very, very much working with men, and every now and then a female comes along. So you tend to really, grab onto those women, get to know them well, and create your own support group, with those women. The transition to entrepreneur is, similar. Obviously my partner is a male. The other partners within this new firm are primarily male. There are a few women. There's an annual summit. We're spread out all over the country. There aren't any others in San Diego, but but there are women in some of the other parts. So we have an annual summit where we get together, and I'm looking forward to meeting some of those other women. But it's just one of those industries where, they definitely need more females. And I think, part of what you're doing here is talking about how women can help other women. And I think it's so important to help open that door, whether it's, getting younger women in to do internships or to, crack open the door, show them opportunities, be a role model, educate other women on the various careers that are within finance.
So what you were saying, there was about 8 women out of then, compared to how many men? 1,000?
No, in the training group that
Okay.
it was a training class. It was a year and a half. When I first got into banking, there were 8 of us in the class, but I was the only woman.
Oh, okay.
1 out of 8.
So so when it comes to the role of women, how has the role of female friendship impacted your success and career?
I think it's been critical. Again, I think the support of other women has helped me to, succeed in an area where, that that isn't always the case. Having that support group, being able to kind of hold each other up, be advocates for each other, learn things that maybe you wouldn't have learned from the other males in the industry. So it kind of provides you with your own, support group so that, as you're looking at trying to get promotions or climbing up the ladder, it's nice to have somebody there that has your back and that's helping you to climb that ladder. Otherwise it can be a very isolated industry. So female friendships have been key.
That's exciting to hear. So with being women, sometimes we get the stereotype of women being adversaries and competing and actually working against each other. I think that's a social thing. What has been your take on with the women you worked with, and how can we work to championship other women more?
You'll always find a wide variety of women out there, some supportive, maybe some not. You gravitate to the women that, share your values, that also want to be supportive. So I think you find them. I've found some lifelong friends through my work career, other women who have helped me or, whatever, just lent an ear or a shoulder, to get you through various phases. Yes, I'm sure there's some negative women out there, but it's easy to find those women that are positive, that are supportive, that are there for you and you're there for them. It's critical. And I would say, the ways to help would be to, help those other women, share your contacts with them, make introductions, offer advice, help them take that next leg up. If we don't do it, I don't know who will. It's through other women that I've really been able to, move my career forward.
Okay. You just you are walking the walk of the tribe, and I'm so thrilled to hear it. So let's give a little bit some of these interviews, because of having such great speakers and having such a deep well of information and expertise. If you're going to give our audience one piece of financial advice, what would that be?
Think long term. I know in this environment, society, community, we tend to be kind of short-sighted, but make sure you're planning for the long term, for your retirement. We're living longer. And we're in the generation too where we've got parents on one side, children on the other, both with pretty big financial needs. So really making sure that you're putting money aside for you, as well as for whether it's college tuition or parents housing, assisted care, whatever they may need. but really thinking long-term, putting a plan together, making sure that not only are you taking care of, both sides and both generations, but also of yourself, so that, you have options as you get close to retirement, and, have the ability to not only help others, but to help yourself.
Okay. All right. And where would you say if someone was to say, well, where should I start? Where should I put my money?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you start with the basics. You want to make sure that you have, again, as entrepreneurs, there's lots of qualified plans where you can kind of start to set money aside. There's also tax credits for doing that. Whether it's an IRA or a SEP, or, depending on how large your company is, a 401k. But really starting to put money aside is really the first step, especially if you're somewhere where they're matching. And then, depending on your age, obviously, you look for the long term. So, if you're putting money into the markets, think long term. Don't be concerned about tomorrow's stock market. You need to be allocating your money in such a way that you can sleep at night and not have to, check the news every day.
So, but the one thing you would say is start, whatever that is.
Sure. Absolutely. It's never too late. So the sooner the better.
Okay, so what's in store for Jackie Lewis?
Well, I've just started on this wonderful journey of entrepreneurship. And at this point, it's really about building and growing this business that we've just started. So I've learned a lot in the first 6 months, and I'm sure I'll continue to learn, throughout. The learning curve has been steep, but I've loved it. It's been a long time since I've really been challenged like this. And, whether it's, learning new technology, learning new systems, new people, new clients, it's refreshing, it's exciting, it's energizing. And so I want to continue to build this. I mean, the whole point of of coming over is to really be able to interact with clients in the way that I can control and that I can guide. And my passion is really to be out there helping women, better understand finance and to educate them and help them figure out, what are the next steps? What do I need to be doing? You start with goals, you put together a plan, and then you stay on track. It sounds really easy. It's not, and everybody's a little different. So really trying to share my, expertise with people that really need it. So I'm excited about building the business, seeing where we get in the first year, second year, and, long term. The beauty of this is I can work for as long as I'd like, in the way that I like. So I'm excited about that.
Congratulations. And also be proud of yourself for taking that leap. It is very courageous. So yeah. I just have to ask you. So when I was getting that first email, the name Advice Period. I mean, how straightforward, and what do you think of that? And did you ask them who came up with that name?
I love the name as well, and I think what it really conveys is that we're not here to just help you with your investments. Obviously, that's one component. But honestly, it's really about focusing on planning. That's where it's going to make a difference. So it's a more holistic approach. Yes, your investments are a part of it, but honestly, if you don't have goals that are set and if you don't have a strategy to get there, your investments aren't going to help you. So I love that more holistic approach when we're talking to clients, and I think the name says it all. So
I love the name.
Yeah.
So are you guys are toting or prodding yourselves on the availability in that, and how you approach your clients with that openness? Is that part of what that says?
It is. And I think with technology that we can now leverage, we didn't have these tools before. We can bring planning to anybody, and we can make plans from very, very small portfolios to, people with all kinds of, real estate assets and businesses and investments. So really leveraging the technology has allowed us to get out there and work with all different types of people with all types of different goals and tax situations and so forth. So technology definitely has been our friend here, and we can do video chats. We can reach out to people anywhere. So the industry is changing quickly, and it's nice to be on the proactive side of it. rather than back where I was, where things were not changing. It's nice to be at this point in the 21st century. I had no idea there were so many great, websites, tools, and so forth out there that I hadn't been able to utilize before. So that's been really inspiring to me. And again, that's what allows me to change the way I do things and to get out to more people and to utilize the technology to bring those tools to more women, to more people in general.
It's just terribly exciting.
Yeah.
And when I had approached you to speak and be with us in the summit, I just wanted to give my audience a little bit of the gift of your knowledge, and because finances are so important in everything we do. And
Yeah.
everyone take a look. Jackie's on the landing page, and hear a little bit more from her. And I just thank you for coming today, and best wishes with the new business. I know that you are and will continue to be exceptional. And thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Maureen. Thanks for letting me be on the summit. And my last words would be: it's never too late. At my age, the fact that I was able to do this, and it's going well, it's never too late to do what you love.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Maureen.